Go for a, oh my, why? YouTube, today we're using a brand new team and it features Azumarill and Landorus Eye that got top 4. I believe you pronounce it as the Taichung Regional Championship, and it's really cool because Azumarill is a Pokemon I've tried before. I thought it could be really cool. Water Fairy is fantastic. It's a mon that can hit the Yveltal for a lot of damage, but of course Intimidate's really hard to play around against, and it's still not exactly the bulkiest Pokemon out there. But Azumarill was one of my favorites from 2018. It was my first Pokemon that I did win a regional championship with. I do love it as a Pokemon. However, in Gen 8, Dynamax hasn't been super kind to it. However, I really did want to try out this team, so let's try it out. There is a rental code available on the screen here, and you can go check out the creator and the details of the team available in the description down below. And if you do enjoy some Azumarill action, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. But let's get started and play some games. Rillaboom, Whimsicott, Yveltal, Zacian, Incineroar, Landorus Fairy. Okay, this is interesting because this is pretty actually good for Azumarill, assuming I can play around the Rillaboom. I would like to go for that. So being able to get Trick Room up, I don't think I'm going to bring my Calyrex. Am I? I feel like Calyrex does not accomplish much here. What is my Dialga set? I have to double check the Dialga moves. I don't have Protect. Okay. I could set up with maybe a Wisp stuff with Elekey, but the problem is Elekey is actually physical, so Intimidate's really going to hurt my Elekey's damage output against the Yveltal. All right, then I think I'm going to go with a game plan of lead both restricteds here, and then in the back, I'm gonna go for a Azumarill end game with Incineroar. And yeah, even though there is double Intimidate, Azumarill does hit my opponent's team extremely hard. Like being able to hit the Yveltal, being able to hit Incineroar and the Landorus Fairy, all Pokemon that are pretty big threats to me. Regieleki would be nice, but it is a physical variant, so I can't really see it doing much here, unfortunately for me. If I had Rising Voltage with Max Lightning, I would definitely be able to bring in and threaten the restricted Pokemon on my opponent's side. However, because of the physical set, the double Intimidation is going to hurt too much, and I feel like it's going to be really annoying to position around. We're going to see the Yveltal plus a Whimsicott, though. Okay. Not something I would expect here against my Calyrex, Shadow Rider, and Dialga. This is quite an interesting turn one right here. Okay. So I'd imagine Zacian's in the back, which means they only have one Intimidate mod. I'm assuming it's going to be Incineroar. I don't think it'd be Landorus in this game. Okay, I'm going to go for a Snarl right off the bat then. I don't know if this is special Yveltal, but I'm assuming it would probably be. And I do want to go hard in Incineroar because a Max Darkness with Life Orb would do so much damage to my Dialga, especially if the Whimsicott reveals a Helping Hand set right here. I don't really mind Calyrex going down pretty early because the only role that my Calyrex is really supposed to do is help support my Dialga to set up the Trick Room right here. So I really don't see myself using the Calyrex too much. The only reason I like Calyrex is so I could potentially like slow down either Landorus or Zacian if it led, because I really want to get a Wisp off. But we will go into Incineroar here for a switch. I don't feel comfortable with setting up Trick Room in this position just yet. I also can scout for a taunt from the Whimsicott or something it could do to stop my Trick Room potentially. We are going to see a Dynamax from Yveltal, and I assume this is going to be one of those special Life Orb sets. So this could be a pretty good situation right here because my opponent's already burning the max. I get to break a Sash on the Whimsicott potentially right here, lower that special attack from Yveltal. Dialga should be able to get Trick Room up pretty comfortably the following, unless again it is going to be a fake tier set, which it could be right here. We're going to see a Tailwind come out actually just straight away. So Tailwind, all right. Not that big of a deal. We're going to see a Max Darkness come out into my Calyrex. Okay. I don't mind Calyrex going down super early here because I am able to get a nice Snarl off into my opponent's side. Although Max Darkness did lower my special defense, so my Incineroar could be threatened by like an Airstream the following turn. We do reveal it's a Life Orb set. We have to hit the Snarl on both. Okay, we do hit the Snarl on both, which is excellent. The Dark Aura boost, which is actually really nice, is helping me against the Whimsicott right here, which is probably just going to Moonblast my Calyrex. I think my best play here is just to protect my Calyrex. If they go for the attack into my Calyrex with the Yveltal to pick up the knockout, completely okay by me. But I do want a parting shot out the Yveltal. I am worried about Helping Hand Max Airstream that could come out in Incineroar. I don't know if that picks up the knockout because I actually have no idea if my Incineroar is physically or especially bulky. A little bit of a shame, but yeah, we will go for a parting shot right here into the Yveltal. If the Whimsicott switches out, it could be a little bit scary, but I should be able to pivot back to my Incineroar, and I should be able to live one Airstream Life Orb boosted guaranteed right here. Let's see, because this is still not exactly an easy position. Although I think it's a lot better than what it was. We're gonna see actually women's got switch out, which is cool. Rillaboom gonna come in. Okay. So actually no intimidating this matchup, which means that my Azumarill can go in once I get rid of Rillaboom. Rillaboom is going to be definitely one of my priorities to get rid of later on in this game. We will go for the protect here. I'm assuming Airstream is going to come out into the Incineroar. I don't see why. Oh, Max Darkness again in the Calyx. Okay, I'll definitely take the Calyx knockout here. That's actually really good because I get a free switch into my Incineroar, which is nice because I can... Ooh, well, actually, is it? Maybe it's a little bit more complicated than I thought it was. I am able to get a parting shot off into the Yveltal, so now it's at -2 special attack. My Dialga can come in here. I could go out into Azumarill, I guess. I don't really... I think that's... Actually, no, that's probably okay here. Yeah. I want to go Azumarill here because I'm thinking, okay, they have to faster fake out. They can go for a fake out and Dialga, get Max Darkness off and get a huge amount of damage to Dialga, and then Dark Pulse high horsepower could probably clean up the following turn. So I want to figure out how do I play around that. I think it's going hard into Azumarill right here. And the reason I think it's hard in Azumarill is because I can go on a Dialga, or not a Dialga. I would go in Incineroar, then pivot the Azumarill into Dialga unless they read it and go for Max Darkness. I should be fine there. So I'm going to go out hard into my Incineroar right here. Yeah, I do want to go hard Incineroar right here and threaten a parting shot and switch out my Azumarill right here. I did get one Intimidate off into the Rillaboom, which is really nice. I could fake out the Rillaboom and just go for the max 2. That's actually not a bad option. It would do a ton of damage, would get rid of this grassy terrain. However, not exactly too sure. I'm not super a big fan of that because I haven't gotten chip damage on Rillaboom, and I don't think I KO'd the... KOing the Yveltal would probably be close, but then I think it's going to get hard because if I'm not able to set up Trick Room safely, then the exhaustion of my opponents I could do a lot of damage to me, especially because it'd be awkward to maneuver since I don't have Protect here. So I will parting shot out the Rillaboom in this stage here and swap out into my Dialga right here. I think that is the safest play here. I could go for a Steel Spike, but I just don't think it's necessary right now, at least. I want to save my Azumarill pretty healthy for this endgame because I do think that Azumarill is going to be the Pokemon that can clean up this matchup. We will go hard into Dialga here, which I'm hoping is on Fake Out or Grassy Glide right here. Just don't be a Max Darkness. It's going to be an Airstream. Okay, into my Azumarill slot. Okay, did they read this? Did they go for a U-turn? A high horsepower? I think it's fine if they went for either a U-turn because... I guess if it's Whim, if it has Taunt, I guess could be annoying. However, I feel like that they could have went for a Taunt earlier. High horsepower, double up. Oh, it went into Incineroar. Okay, we're good. Incineroar takes that very well. We are able to get a parting shot off into the Rillaboom. And now I actually don't probably have to swap out here. I could probably actually just Dynamax my Azumarill very comfortably here and just go for attacks. And I do kind of like that, actually. So I do want to go hard in Azumarill here. The Rillaboom is at -2. Which is pretty good for me. I can get the KO on the Yveltal potentially here. That would be really nice. The Dialga didn't really take that much damage from the Airstream, which is cool. Man, it would have actually been really good if I did go for the Dynamax with the Azumarill the last turn. However, I still think it's in a very safe position to go for the Dynamax this turn. And I really do like it targeting down the Rillaboom slot here. And I think just go for the Trick Room and dish out quite a bit of damage. Or... I guess I could Steel Spike too. I'm just worried about like if this Rillaboom's offensive. Yeah, I should be okay for the most part. I think I'm going to go for that Steel Spike actually into the Rillaboom because I could also see them potentially want to save Rillaboom and sack Whimsicott right here. And if that's the case, I think that'd be a phenomenal position for me. So you know what? I'm going to go for a Trick Room here. I'm going to go for a Steel Spike. I should be able to live a high horsepower plus a Dark Pulse because both the Rillaboom and the Yveltal are at -2 on their current attack stages that they prefer here. So I think Azumarill is in a really safe spot to just Dynamax and hopefully do a lot of damage to clean up this end game because I did have to stall out that Dynamax from Yveltal, which was a massive threat to me. But this Azumarill can now go in and dish out quite a bit of damage to their team. And the Steel Spike boost is just always appreciated on this Azumarill right here. Although Woodhammer could hurt still if it's a Miracle Seed variant. However, we'll find out. But I don't think it is going to be with the high horsepower. Oblivion Wing going to come out in Azumarill, do absolutely like no damage. Are they reading Incineroar coming in? I think they are because they didn't go for the grass boot. They went for a high horsepower and a Dialga. Oh, perfect. Okay. So they weren't sure. Dialga absolutely takes it like a champion. And I'm able to get my defense boost, which is really, really good here. Okay. So I am able to get a Steel Spike off into the Rillaboom and get my +1 stages right here, and that's absolutely fantastic. Azumarill is going to be able to boost up, and my Dialga too, which is really good here. Able to get the Trick Room up with the Dialga here very safely right now. In this upcoming turn, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't just Steel Spike the Rillaboom right here. I don't have to get rid of the terrain. The terrain's kind of on my side right here. They could reset it anyway if they switch out the Rillaboom right here. I think it's a very safe play to just go for a Steel Spike right here into the Rillaboom slot. Or I could go for a Starfall into the Yveltal slot and go for a Flash Cannon to the Rillaboom with Life Orb that might pick up the knockout, which could be really good here. Let me see what my Dialga's speed stat is. I don't think we've seen the actual speed interaction. I am pretty fast on my Dialga, so I don't think that's actually going to happen. And the Yveltal's just not really threatening right now because it's a Life Orb set. It can't really snarl down my team. I think I just go for a Steel Spike into the Rillaboom slot, and I think I just go for a Flash Cannon into Yveltal. There's also a chance that Yveltal could be trying to swap out into Zacian right here. But okay, Yveltal protects, which is completely cool because I did target the Rillaboom, so I don't waste a target turn here. I am able to get a Starfall off into the Rillaboom. Oh, I was supposed to click Steel Spike. That's not too bad, I guess. I actually was supposed to click Steel Spike there. The Starfall isn't too bad, I guess. I could have got a little bit more extra grassy terrain healing. However, still very manageable, I think. And yeah, that was actually... I think I was because I was late towards Starfalling the Yveltal, but then I switched to targeting the Rillaboom, but I actually clicked Starfall. Okay, still works out beautifully for me. I'm able to really get rid of the Rillaboom, which is the biggest threat to the Azumarill right now. The Zacian probably wants to come in here, but with the +1 in defense from Azumarill, I don't really see it being able to do that much, and my Dialga with Life Orb is still threatening their Zacian slots, so this is still looking really good. I have an Incineroar in the back. My Azumarill should be able to take one Behemoth Blade because of the defense boost from Steel Spike. This Azumarill actually is putting in a ton of work right here, which is absolutely something you love to see. We're going to see the Whimsicott come out. Okay. A Whimsicott comes out. I just go for a Starfall into the... I think I just Starfall the Yveltal, and I think I also go for a Flash Cannon into the Yveltal here. Unless I want to do something else. I don't know. Yveltal could be trying to switch out here. It did see a Starfall. Could try to swap into Zacian, which I think is completely fine because that's why I want to double up the Yveltal slot. If the Yveltal stays in, I get the Oko. If it switches out, the Zacian gets hit by Flash Cannon plus the Starfall, which is a bunch of damage. And I think that's a pretty good position for me, so I'm gonna go for it here. And if they stay in, the attacks get redirected into Whimsicott, and yeah, they do switch out. I didn't want to hard commit because I didn't want to Earth Power the Whimsicott here. However, this is still a very, very solid position right here. Let's find out what they're going to go for, as I am going to be able to get some pretty hefty damage into the Zacian and maybe put in Aqua Jet range. We'll find out. We are going to be able to go for that Starfall into Zacian. Does a really solid amount of damage right there. As a Flash Cannon going to come out into their Zacian slot is pretty solid damage. It's not Aqua Jet range, unfortunately. However, still not bad. Moonblast going to come out into the Dialga, which is going to be able to tank it just fine. Yep. Special attack drop kind of sucks, but I don't think I need it. Yeah, I don't think I need it anymore. Flash Cannon should still knock out the Zacian. I don't know if the Whimsicott has Protect, but yeah, we could go for a Steel Roller right here to get rid of the Misty Terrain, and that's actually pretty good for me. There's no statuses unless the Whimsicott has Stun Spore for some reason. And a Flash Cannon into Dialga should be pretty safe. Does pick up a knockout right here. Steel Roller can't miss. I don't have to worry about play rough accuracy right here. I KO'd a Whimsicott, which is really good. If the Zacian switches out into Yveltal, that's a pretty solid play on their part. I still get some pretty good damage into the Yveltal though, for the most part. And they're not going to protect, which is really nice. So Steel Roller going to come out into the Whimsicott slot. Is able to pick up a knockout into the Whimsicott. And Yveltal, I'm pretty sure, is going to get destroyed by the Azumarill right here. That's Oblivion Wing and some really bad RNG right here. We're able to get a Flash Cannon off into the Dialga, into the Zacian with Dialga. Picks up the knockout, and Azumarill should be able to clean up. Do I go for Liquidations to be safe? Oblivion Wing Life Orb crit would hurt quite a bit, which is why I'm considering not going for it here. And Liquidation isn't like so much damage where they can't recover right here, so kind of difficult. I think Incineroar is the right play because my Dialga is... The defense boosts don't really matter on Dialga anyway. Might as well go for the play route. This is also the last turn of Trick Room, so they might try to go for the Protect here to stall out. Then I could go for a Fake Out and Play Rough, and they need even more odds in order to win the game. I think that they might try to go for the Miss right here from the Azumarill and try to Oblivion Wing and hope it's a 2-shot in Azumarill, which I think would be absolutely fair. I don't need my boost at all on Azumarill, so I could Parting Shot and switch out into Dialga, which I think is also fair for me. Play rough. Oh, there's the move we all know it. Play rough. Okay, here comes the Oblivion Wing. Doesn't really do that much. Okay. So we're still good right here. I go for a... I have quite a few options. I think my play is just to... Okay, I should be good for the most part. I am worried about crits, however, because Parting Shot doesn't change anything when it comes to crits, so I guess I go for a Fake Out Liquidation this turn anyway. They're going to just go for Protect. I could go into Dialga and try to force them to Dark Pulse so I get the Parting Shot off into Azu, but doesn't really change the position. Again, it's going to really come down to crits right here. Oblivion Wing would threaten my Incineroar though. I just don't know how much it picks up if it picks up the knockout. But yeah, we're gonna Liquidation Fake Out. I think if I go Dialga, it's too passive for the Azumarill. I do think they're just gonna Protect here. Yep. Maybe I could have went Dialga for the... I guess I could have went Dialga for... Oh, what I should have done was go Dialga for the Incineroar, I think. Yeah, Dialga for the Incineroar would have been nice. Because if we did go Dialga for the Incineroar, I think it would have opened up the door, I think, for... Trick Room or Play Rough potential. So yeah, I think that was probably better. But yeah, we're just gonna go for... I go for Parting Shot here, I guess, because I can Fake Out Trick Room with Dialga if I do miss and get crit. Play Rough should just KO the Yveltal anyway. So Azumarill, please just hit your Play Rough. Please just hit your Play Rough. No crit, okay? Oh boy. The fact that Play Rough is a thing. Parting Shot, I guess we'll find out if Azumarill is actually able to make the move after this upcoming turn. Oh boy, the suspense. This 90% why is Play Rough the best fairy, physical fairy move we have? Dialga gonna come in. Hit the Play Rough. Please. Okay, we hit the Play Rough. That should secure it because we probably put an Aqua Jet range if it doesn't KO. Yeah, goodbye, Yveltal. And Azumarill, really solid sweep of my opponent's team. Was able to pick up 3 knockouts on the Yveltal, the Rillaboom, and the Whimsicott right there. And yeah, I guess it is actually good against the Yveltal. Steel Spike was actually really cool too on this for dealing with Zacians. And of course, if the Rillaboom switched out to reset its Intimidate drops, I would have been still not being able to do as much damage, especially with the Steel Spike that I was utilizing, plus the Incineroar swapping out. And they didn't bring any of the Intimidate mods, which was just really good for me because Azumarill didn't have its attack lower, so I was just able to do huge amounts of damage with the huge power Azumarill can provide. Nice. Groudon, Venusaur, Incineroar, Yveltal, Regieleki plus Porygon. This matchup, I had to bring Azumarill here. I do have to bring Azumarill. All right. Landorus could be nice. The Eleki is a little bit troubling. I do want to bring Calyrex for sure. I'm definitely bringing Calyrex. The thing is... All right, what do I want to go? I think Calyrex plus Instance is the way to go. It's like really effective against my opponent's team. The only problems that I'm seeing is the Eleki lead. Eleki looks pretty scary to deal with, and I don't think I can afford to bring Landorus because yeah, it's good against Eleki and the Incineroar, but otherwise it just is pretty weak overall in the matchup. My own Eleki, I just have to play around their Groudon and also their Venu, which I do think they're brings, so I think it'd be pretty tricky in order to deal with that. I think Incineroar, Dialga, Azumarill is just fine. Yeah, I think it's pretty strong right here in the matchup. I'd say it is because I need Incineroar for the Intimidate. Dialga can get Trick Room up, and at least I don't have to worry about Sleep Powder on the Venu because I do have the Goggles. The only problem, the important parts here are that I slow down the combination Eleki, Yveltal, Groudon. I need a Wisp on the Groudon and maybe some Parting Shot off into Yveltal or Eleki. It just depends on what they lead, but I need those Pokemon to have those specific scenarios right here in order for me to get Trick Room up, in order for this to be decently safe. Let's find out if that's going to be the case. We'll see a Incineroar Yveltal lead. Okay, so this is a pretty okay lead for me here. I can go for a Snarl into their Calyrex or into their Yveltal immediately. I don't know if this is Fake Out into my Incineroar. This could be Airstream into my Incineroar as well. I don't mind if they double up my Calyrex to pick up the knockout because I just get a free switch, and even if I don't get the Groudon burned, if they Dynamax the Yveltal, dealing with the Groudon's a lot easier, especially since I could Steel Spike boost up against it. And no Zacian actually makes this really nice as well. The thing is that they do have Intimidate, which is kind of concerning. I don't know what their last one is either, which is also a problem. But yeah, let's go for a Snarl right away. And let's go out into... Well, here's the thing. I don't know if this is special Yveltal on this team. I feel like that this could be support. Alaki is probably a Dynamax Pokemon. Groudon, I feel like would be the other one. Maybe this isn't special Yveltal. I feel like this just is not... I guess I could Wisp here. No, I guess I could Snarl immediately. Yeah, Snarl, go out into Dialga turn 1. Let's find out. They're not going to foul play my Incineroar. They go for Oblivion Wing or Snarl here potentially, which is fine because Snarl won't do that much damage to my Dialga, and that should confirm it's Assault Vest or a non-Life Orb offensive Yveltal at least. Snarl, going to come out. All right. If you're foul play, I guess it's concerned. They didn't go for fake outs. What are you going for? Punny Shot's not too bad either since they didn't max. Tailwind. Huh. Okay. That's cool. And Punny Shot? Okay, super passive. I'll take it. Into Calyx? Definitely don't mind that at all. All right. That means Groudon's coming in. I guess a double up into Groudon's really scary. Tailwind on Yveltal is not something I would have anticipated right here. However, it does work out quite well for them, as they are able to get speed control up with both sides without the max, which is concerning because that was something I was like really excited about that the Yveltal didn't go for an Airstream. However, let's find out what they're going out into. Probably the Groudon, I imagine. If it's Venu, I'm just going to try to attempt to get Trick Room up because I do have goggles. Groudon is going to come in. Okay. I think Incineroar is always the right call here. I just don't know to which slot. I think Incineroar for the they might double up my Calyx though because they might be scared of Wisp. So I think Incineroar is the right call here and attempt to get Trick Room up, because if I go Incineroar, the thing is, A, I don't know if I let the double up with Dialga. B, I don't even know what they're going to go for here. I don't know who they're going to target. They might max Quake my... I don't know which slot they're going to max Quake. They have targets into both, because I think they would be really not wanting to have the Groudon burned here, because if I switch Dialga to Instant and I burn the Groudon, that's so bad for them. I'm gonna just try to go to Instant and hope that they don't go for the Max Quake into the Dialga. But I guess if they expect me to switch into Instant, they still get a pretty powerful Max Quake off into what would be an Instant or a Dialga right here. So that is kind of terrifying. We'll just see here, however. We do get an Intimidate off into both. Okay, they didn't Dynamax, which is really good. Precipice Blades though would hurt, and I guess they might go for it here. Let's find out. Snarl going to come out, dish out quite a bit of damage. We do see a Precipice Blades being thrown off here, which is completely okay here. Into both of my Pokemon. Does a lot of damage, but is not able to pick up a knockout, which is pretty significant. We are able to get the Citrus Berry healing with the Incineroar. Okay, this is still pretty good. I'll take this turn. I get to trick him off with Dialga, and now I can threaten quite a bit of damage with probably a Roar Time Parting Shot. I don't know if Dialga, if Groudon protects or if it even has Protect. I just want to go for a Parting Shot though into the Groudon because I still want to have Incineroar around. So I want to get an Azu potentially, and I want to just draw off the Roar Time here because I think Dialga's time is done here. Sucker Punch won't KO the Dialga because I have gotten 2 Intimidates off into Yveltal, I'm pretty sure. So this is pretty... Oh, wait, no. I've only got 1 Intimidate off, right? I think I only got 1. All right. Parting Shot going to come out into the Groudon. It's really nice that they're not maxing the Groudon because extra damage with the Roar Time is pretty significant in the matchup right here. But we're going to go hard into our Azumarill right here. I guess the problem is, do I have enough turns to trick him to actually start doing damage is a good question. We're going to get in our Azumarill here, which is pretty safe for the most part. We're going to get a Roar Time off. This should hopefully do like 40-50% depending on the item. Good damage in the Groudon. Precipice Blades, okay, that won't do too much to Azu with the -2. Yep, okay. I guess the problem is that I did take a lot of damage with the Azumarill, which is my Pokemon to max here. However, not too bad. Foul play. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, that did so much damage. All right, hard into Calyx here, I suppose. This is not great. This is not great. I don't know if Oz is going to be enough power to win this game, but I kind of have to hope at this point. I want to go for the Calyx here, and I think... Oh, boy. How many times of Sun do they have? 2? Yeah, 2. Flavor of can KO to Yveltal. I don't know if Instant switching in for a slot though. The thing is, if I get the terrain up, I can't burn the ground anymore, and I can't slow it down other than Instant Intimidate, which isn't exactly ideal. However, I do want to go for a play rough here, and I think, or no, I think I have to Dynamax here. I've taken way too much damage with Azu, probably. I think I do have to go for the Starfall here, and I don't want to take a Sucker Punch. Well, I don't think it's Sucker Punch, right? It's Snarl? I don't think it is. I'm actually just going to fire off attacks with Astral Barrage plus a Starfall here. If Instant comes in, that's fine. I get a huge amount of damage to their team. And if the Yveltal... I mean, maybe I Oko Yveltal with -1 Starfall is definitely a play. Or not. I could maybe put into Astral Barrage range, which is still really good for me. We're going to see a double swap here. Okay. Venu? Oh, that's still good for me. I get huge damage to the Venusaur. I don't think that's bad at all. Okay. That's still pretty good for me, because Starfall and Astral Barrage should threaten the Venus slot, and that's pretty big damage. Okay, that's not as bad as I was thinking. But of course, Play Rough and Astral Barrage would have probably accomplished the same thing, which is unfortunate. However, yeah, I still get to threaten quite a bit. But maybe the Dynamax is a little bit too early on the Azumarill part. Starfall going to come out into the Venusaur. How much damage? A lot of damage. I think Astral Barrage should pick up the knockout. The thing is, I cannot burn the Groudon, which is very concerning for the end game. However, the Groudon has taken damage. The Yveltal is also threatened, which is pretty good. I am able to get an Astral Barrage off, get some good damage off into both of these Pokemon. Yeah, KO the Venusaur. I have +1 special attack on my Calyrex, which is really good here. Yeah, this is still very doable. Very doable. Tailwind Peter is out, which is kind of a shame, although not too bad, I suppose. Let's find out who to bring out next. Is it going to be Yveltal or is it going to be Groudon? If it's Groudon, Geyser's probably my option, or Starfall, or not Starfall, maybe a Max Geyser here. Groudon is going to come in. Okay, makes sense. I think I just go for a Geyser here. Does Geyser KO the instant? That's my question. Or do I just go for Starfall? Oh boy, I could also see, well, let me see. We're in Sun. This is Stab, so it's halved. I think Starfall does more, but I can threaten more damage into Groudon the following turn. It's just which one do I want to go for, Starfall or Geyser? I think I Geyser here. Threaten instant. I don't know if Starfall would pick up the knockout. I'm pretty sure like they're both super close. But you know what? I'm going to go instant here. The reason I'm going to go instant, I still have the Sash on my Calyrex still remaining for the late game, which could be a really big difference right here. We're going to bring out the instant. We have Intimidate going off, which could be the difference because this Groudon could be going for a max Wake into the Azumarill, and I don't want it to do too much damage here. We are going to see a Dynamax come out from the Groudon here. And I'm hoping that I'm able to dish out a good amount of damage this turn, because even if they get a parting shot off into my Azumarill with instant, Azumarill could still clutch it out. Let's see, especially with the rain. All right, Groudon does Dynamax, no surprise. Let's find out. It's gonna be a Geyser coming out into the Incineroar in Sun. I don't know if Starfall would have done more. I don't think Starfall would have picked up the knockout. I'm pretty sure it would have left in the red, so I think Geyser's still the right play here. So yeah, big damage here into the instant. I got the rain up, which is going to be difference for the attacks. We're going to see the parting shot come out into Azumarill. Okay, cool. That's all right here. They're going to swap out into the Yveltal here, and then probably swap back into instant, I'd imagine, on the last turn. I do want a Geyser to Groudon, I think, and parting shot. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. At least their Pokemon are getting super weakened here. The thing is, let's see what they go for. I think they want to take the damage into Azu because they really struggle with damaging Azu. Let's see, Max Quake going to come out into, oh, they take the KO on instant. Okay. That's still fine, I think. I think it is. I think. All right. Depends heavily on what the, oh boy, Calyrex in. I think they should still be scared of Starfall here into the Yveltal because it could still threaten a lot of damage. I'm thinking that they go for a switched Yveltal on the instant, which I think is a super safe play. I'm going to go for a Geyser into the Groudon, and I think I'm going to fire off an Astral Barrage here. in the hopes of a chance of winning this game. Because I think I have to commit here. If Yveltal just attacks or protects, if it protects, that's fine. If it goes, that's even better for me if it protects. But if it goes Instant, that's pretty bad here. Although, if I KO to Groudon because they didn't get the Intimidate off of Instant, because we have a Geyser in the rain, even at -1 attack, will still do a lot of damage because of huge power. Maybe that's another way I can win. So, yeah, it might not be a too bad of a spot. Let's see. Can Azu clutch this? Azu. Can he clutch this endgame? I have no clue. Groudon has a huge amount of physical defense. So yeah, we do see the swap here in the Instant. I'm okay with Instant coming in because Astral Barrage should still... I don't know if it threatens a knockout. If it misses a knockout, that's... I can't tell if that's good or bad for me. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll find out. Next guys are going to come out into the Groudon right here. Also, I don't know what they're going for with the Groudon. Probably break my Sash. Yeah, good damage in a Groudon. X Steel Spike. Oh, that's really good for me. They target the Calyrex. That's fine. Yeah, that's really good for me. I think the only thing that I'm a little bit annoyed about, though, is I think I Dynamax a turn too early with the Venu play. Astral Barrage doesn't KO the Instant. Trick Room is over. Oh, is that good or bad for me? I don't know if that's good or bad for me. Because Max Quake is going to get fired off here. Oh, no. Do I have enough firepower to win this game is the question. I can Aqua Jet the Groudon. And Astral Barrage. Oh, that's Starfall. Starfall is hurting me here. I think I have to Astral Barrage here. So I do go for the Astral Barrage 100%. The end game, though, Fake Out into Quake is going to do a lot. It is Intimidate with Groudon. However, I don't know if we'll live. Astral Barrage does miss a knockout on Groudon, which is pretty big. If we got the KO on Instant, was it doable? Maybe. I mean, there's no Fake Out, and I could Aqua Jet Astral Barrage. However, oh, not enough. It looks like here comes a Quake into the Azumarill. Can we survive? No, that's too much. Okay, that's game over then. Not a crit. Okay. Dang, so close. I think the one game that really swung the difference was the player of, or the Max Starfall, the Venu play. I got a bit too hesitant. They made a very safe switch into Venu. Well, it wasn't safe, right? Because I got the Ocon Venu. So one thing that I was considering was, do they give the Yveltal to me as a knockout? Because if I can get rid of the Yveltal, like, I open up the doors for Calyrex Shadow Rider like really nicely. However, they gave me their Venusaur instead, and if I went for Playoff Astral Barrage, I'm pretty sure I still knock out the Venusaur at that range, and I would have still had an extra turn of max, and that extra turn of max could have been the big difference. So I did Dynamax a turn too early, it looks like, and that will be the downfall right here. I cannot win the game because the Yveltal cannot get knocked out here. I don't believe it can. I can go for the Astral Barrage crit, I guess, but I don't think Astral Barrage crit is KOing the Yveltal at all. I have, what, 1 boost or 2? I think I had 1? But yeah, crit does not KO Yveltal by a long shot, yeah. So, Yveltal really messed up and went for Tailwind for some reason, but I think you just click foul play in this position, I'm pretty sure. However, Azu, oh dang. Azu actually could have clutched this. Azu could have definitely clutched this. The only problem that I had here was... oh, the only issue was Dynamaxing the turn too early. If I did Dynamax a bit late, then yeah, it could have definitely been the difference between being able to secure the game or not. But yeah, well played to my opponents. I do think that the biggest turn right there was the early Dynamax. And maybe I could have probably played around a little bit better. If I got a Wisp off into the Yveltal, because I didn't think it'd be Life Orb on a Dawn team. Usually Life Orb is more common with Cali, or not Calyrex, Zacian teams. So Zacian Yveltal usually runs Life Orb. With the Groudon teams, they're a bit more bulkier, so usually like foul play, and they don't like to Dynamax nearly as much. So maybe I could have just went for the Wisp into it, and the Wisp could have made a difference, right? Because they gained the damage of foul play, a bit of extra damage here and there, and yeah, it could have been like a, you know, burn damage could have added up to Yveltal, which would have been really nice. Okay, we have the standard Zacian, Groudon, Charizard, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, and Gastrodon. All right, I don't know what you're specifically supposed to do with this team matchup right here. Landorus, I'd imagine, is really good, right? Because you are able to threaten the Charizard, especially with Stone Edge, with Sheer Force. I think that would do a lot of damage right here. So I do want to go with Landorus lead. Seems really good against their entire team. Do I have Grass Knot? Actually, I do have Grass Knot, right? Yeah, I have Grass Knot for the Gastrodon too. Okay, Landorus is looking fantastic here. Landorus plus Incineroar doesn't seem too bad to me. Landorus plus Zacian or Calyx doesn't seem bad either here. I'd probably not want to bring Azumarill. Yeah, I'd probably want to... Well, I could. I don't want to bring Eliki, that's for sure. Eliki does not help in this matchup. I'd probably go with Landorus and Incineroar in both my restricted here, I'm assuming, because Dialga just could be decent backup, I suppose. I mean, it could do some decent damage, I guess. I don't even know what Pokemon I'm maxing here. I guess I'm not maxing like any of my other slots. So yeah, I guess Landorus is probably the way to go. So let's go with these, I think, right here. I think it's just solid to lead Incineroar plus Landorus, and then have the Dialga plus the Calyx Shadow Rider in the back. I was thinking my leads are probably Landorus plus Calyx or Landorus plus Incineroar. Incineroar helps cover the Grimmsnarl, I think, better because I could go for Fake Out Stone Edge immediately. However, we'll find out because there are, of course, some things that can affect this matchup right here. And we'll just see if it happens. Dealing with the Charizard could obviously be really scary. It does a ton of damage. I might Dynamax my Landorus just in case. We'll see. It's going to be Incineroar and Groudon. Okay, that's a cool one right here. I do lead my Landorus plus my Incineroar right here, and position-wise, this isn't amazing, but it's not bad either. The reason why this is a little bit awkward is because a lot of damage can get thrown into Landorus immediately turn one. Landorus is pretty good against their team because the Earth Power is going to do a ton of damage to either Pokemon right here. And of course, getting rid of the Incineroar early is really great for Shadow Rider Calyx. Shadow Rider Calyx would have probably been a better lead though, because I could just threaten the Wisp into Groudon and an Earth Power and Incineroar. So that's a little bit unfortunate right here. However, it's still not too bad. I mean, I'm just going to throw off an Earth Power and an Incineroar and go for a parting shot. I think it's like really unlikely they go for the Flare Blitz and a double up into the Landorus slot. So I should be fine with the Intimidate. I will go for a parting shot and a Groudon here because I don't know. Are they Dynamaxing the Groudon immediately? That means no Charizard, and that probably makes this game a lot easier, I'd say. However, if I lose my Incineroar turn one to a -1 max Quake, that would be pretty bad. I will find out the situation though, but they don't exactly have switch-ins to Earth Power if they didn't bring their Charizard right here. It'd probably be Zacian and... would it be Grim in the back? I guess. Maybe. We're going to see a Dynamax come out, though, from my opponent, which is no surprise. It should be the Groudon, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Groudon does Dynamax. I didn't exactly have a safe swap. I guess I could have went into Dialga because, again, I don't think Dialga is really that important in this matchup. However, it still could be useful, I guess, in the late game if I'm able to weaken their Pokemon right here. Let's find out. It's going to be a Fake Out. Fake Out in the Landorus. Okay, that's fair. Oh, Incineroar. Okay. So I don't get Parting Shot off, but here's a big Earth Power into the Incineroar. With the Sheer Force, Shuckle Berry is going to activate, but this is still a ton of damage to the Incineroar. And yeah, as you can see, really solid damage right there. Are we going to see a Max Quake? We are going to see a Max Quake. No surprise, coming out into my Incineroar. Do I go down to the Groudon? I actually do survive, which is actually kind of nice. Surviving here is pretty big because Landorus can still threaten with very powerful Max Quakes. Or Earth Powers right here. Earth Power does still threaten the Incineroar, and it threatens every switch other than Charizard. I could go for the Charizard here. I really could. However, I don't think it's necessary. I think I'm going to go for an Earth Power here. The question is, do I want to... I don't need Incineroar for this game if I have Wisp on the Calyx, I'm pretty sure. I think I just fire off a Parting Shot and let Incineroar go down. I don't need it for this game. I don't think I need it to win at all. We're gonna see if they have Charizard. I think they hard swap Incineroar into Charizard. I don't want to go for the Stone Edge and risk it though, especially since Earth Power just seems like it would threaten a lot here. So they're gonna stay in, which is nice. I do get an Earth Power off, and we're probably training Incineroars, but they have to use their Max to fire off these Max Quakes into my Incineroar. So I'm pretty good right here. Yeah, another Max Quake. Not really that big of a deal. I mean, they are kind of boosted, and it's going to be hard to damage the Groudon, but if the Groudon gets burned, it does very limited damage coming up. So, yeah, not bad. Not bad. The rest can be a little bit tricky, though. I do want to go out into my Calyx right here, and I do want to burn the Groudon. Zacian could come in, which I think is very fair. I don't know if they're going to go for the attacks or not. I think a pretty safe place just to protect the Landorus here and go for a Wisp into the Groudon slot, if I'm not mistaken. That should be a pretty safe play because I don't think you would double up the Calyx in this position. I think you have to threaten the Landorus because if you let Landorus attack on a turn you expect it to protect, it is just going to OHKO your Zacian, and then you're going to lose the game right here. I also could see the Zacian just protect because you could just fire off a Max Quake into Calyx and then get the special defense boosts. Gastrodon going to come in. I have Life Orb, Sheer Force, Grass Knot. Does that KO? It might. And if it does, I think it's my best play to go for it. Is it? I think it's Grass Knot here always. I just don't know if it KOs or not. I wish I knew the calc here, because if it does, the Wisp is just super safe in the Groudon. I guess even if I don't, then Astral Barrage can get fired off. I'm pretty sure the Gastrodon will be pretty low, and then I guess I could pick up the knockout afterward. If I lose Landorus here, it's not too bad, right? As long as I have Wisp on Calyx and the Calyx healthy, which it should, right? Because they'll probably just Ice Beam here and Quake. Yeah, I'll probably be safe. Let's just go for a Grasson and Will-O-Wisp here. The Gastrodon goes for Protect. That's super safe. I don't mind that. Okay. So I am able to go for a... Oh, why? Why the Wisp? One of the things about Calyx is the Wisp miss here. They do go for Max Quake. Okay. It's going to pick up a nut. That's going to do a lot to my Calyx. Oh, that's so unfortunate because that was... Did they crit too? Because that was minus... This game sometimes really likes... You know what's funny is RG is probably more effective on their team because you have multiple chances to crit their mons when they're playing passive. They have blades and a bunch of inaccurate moves sometimes, and I'm the one who gets punished for it. Okay, but I am using Wisp here, which is probably like my only other inaccurate move here, but I do have Play Rough too. Okay. I don't know if Gastrodon... Okay. That turn was just so bad for me. It really was so bad here. Okay. I gotta go for a Grass on Astral Barrage, I think. Yeah, I think I gotta go for a Grass on Astral Barrage here. If they switch out into their Zacian, maybe I could get a crit, but yeah, that's really bad that I missed a Wisp here. Maybe I could hope that the Groudon misses attack in the Calyx. Astral Barrage comes out, does a pretty solid amount of damage. Grass Knot, I know Gastrodon's pretty light, but this is still Life Orb Sheer Force. It is not able to pick up the knockout on Gastrodon. Oh, that's really bad. He crashed into my... Oh, I think this is over. I think this is over. Oh, just because of one Wisp miss. All right, the Landorus goes down here. I could go on to Dialga, but that's so sad. That's so sad. Although, did Grass not KO the Gastrodon before the Max Quake boost? I don't think it did. However, Wisp was pretty safe regardless. Again, the Gastrodon would have still been pretty low. It would have still gone down to Astral Barrage. My Calyx would have been healthy. I do have to go for the attacks into the Gastrodon here. I have to go for a Steel Spike here, I think, into the Gastrodon. Then I have to go for a Max Dragon into Groudon potentially, and then I think I have to get a quick... I have to read when the Zacian's going to protect. I think that's the big one. If I can catch the Zacian protecting, maybe the Groudon misses a few blades, maybe there's a chance. Maybe. It's like a very small chance. Also, they went for Heat Crash with Groudon, so I guess they don't have an accurate move against my Dialga, which could be helpful here. If they switch out the Groudon... I don't think they switch out Groudon, right? They're a +3 special defense. They are at -1 attack. However, I don't know if that's going to matter. I think the big turn that's just going to come up is Steel Spike KO to Gastrodon to protect. I guess that's also another factor. And does Quake knock out their Zacian because I'm not Life Orb on this Dialga. So if I do miss a knockout, that's actually really tragic right here. However, we got to play around it. There is a chance of winning this game, although I think it's super little, and I might need a crit onto their Groudon specifically in order to pick up the win here. Let's find out. We're going to see a Steel Spike come out in the Gastrodon. I can't afford a Yawn. A Yawn would just 100% lose me the game, so I have to target down the Gastrodon right here. I do pick up the knockout. Oh, I don't think I KO to protect, actually, because they did the +1 Spadef here, but I think they just go for Yawn anyway. I think it makes a lot more sense to just fire for Yawn here. Stone Edge into Dialga. I guess they're scared of... What do you... Okay, that works. I think they're just scared of policy then. Yeah, they're probably just scared of policy. All right, the Zacian's gonna come in. I think I'm gonna I have to call it if it protects or not. I think it does. I think you protect Zacian. I think you protect Zacian. I'm like pretty sure you do. I'm gonna drag in the Groudon here. I'm gonna drag in the Groudon. Hope that Zacian protects. I get the attack drop on them both. Then afterward, I hope Max Quake can knock out the Zacian. And then maybe I could beat the Groudon because I want to take in that much damage unless Zacian has to either substitute here or protect. If it has substitute, I just lose because they just click sub and I can't really do anything to them. If they click... Okay, nice. They did protect. Okay, that's one step. I need Max Quake to KO the following turn though. If it didn't, I think I had to Steel Spike here. But the thing about Steel Spike is if the Zacian has Sacred Sword, then it doesn't really matter what I do. Yeah, as you can see, the Max Dragon does nothing to Groudon. So I have a very, I need a lot of luck right here, unfortunately, to make up for what was earlier. Okay, that's a start. That's a start. Okay, that's a start. I need this to KO Zacian, which I have no idea if it will. We are a Dialga. However, it is Zacian we're talking about. However, we'll just see. Behemoth Blade going to come out. Okay, I don't get Behemoth Blade here because if you went for the Precipice Blades, I guess their Zacian's bulky enough to lose Max Quake. They're really trying to not play against the policy right here. We are going to be able to get a Max Quake off. This Zacian does this pick up a knockout because I needed to. I need to Steel Spike that one turn. Okay. Or Groudon needs to miss some attacks. Precipice Blades. It's doing too much damage. Yeah, I think this is over right here. Okay, well, no, I think there's no chance of winning here. I'm just gonna flash can the Zacian. I had, oh man, just stinks, right? One Wisp Miss really cost us a lot. Sacred Sword gonna come out. Yeah, there's way too much to Dialga. They can go for a Heat Crash to probably win the victory here. I guess if they miss Blades here and I Crit Roar Time, I guess we do have an out. We do knock out the Zacian. I don't know if Crit Roar Time would knock out with Assault Vest. However, I guess it's an out. But that doesn't, that's not what the game allows me to do. Precipice Blade's gonna come out of Dialga and that is gonna be a sealed game right here. Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, not much you can do there. Yeah, that's the one thing about Calyrex and really all these mons with 85% accurate moves. One miss can really be the downside, especially in this kind of format, right? Because Calyrex is not exactly a bulky Pokemon. There's a lot of damage output in the format. If I do miss one Wisp, it could be the difference between Calyrex being able to really eat up that Max Quake and be able to stick around on the field longer, or situations like what happened there where I went down to my Sash and then I was pretty threatened overall. So yeah, not much I can really do. How bulky was the Zacian? It's decently bulky. Yeah, without Life Orbit on the Dialga or Expert Belt, it was just really tough there. Leftovers on the Gastrodon. How Spadef is this? Not really that much, I think. That's just how the game goes. Were there any other reads that I could have done really? I don't think if I predicted the Gastrodon's protecting there, I don't think it changed anything, right? Because Earth Power damage, I don't think changed any calcs on the Groudon, where I'm not mistaken. I could have protected the Calyrex, I guess. I could have double protected on the last turn of Max. However, I guess maybe that could have been a thing, but I would still probably have to go for a Wisp eventually. And I think it's just better to go for the Wisp there anyway, because if you do go for double protect on the last turn of Groudon maxing as the Gastrodon protected, then the thing is, if I want to double the Gastrodon, it still didn't KO as we saw. The Groudon is not burned, which means the Max Quake through protect as well as the Precipice Blades damage or Heat Crash would really start adding up. So I don't think that's really a viable one. I think I just had to hit, unfortunately, there. I can't really say much. Maybe I could have maybe I should have just like sacked Dialga early and saved Incineroar for more Intimidates as a backup, which could have been a thing, I suppose. But I mean, they also crit the Max Quake too, so not much I could do there. And that is the show. Man, Azumarill put in a lot of work. The first loss that we had was definitely something manageable, where it was more like I early Dynamaxed, and that definitely could have been prevented. And then I think the last game, I think even though I did miss the Will-O-Wisp, maybe I could have led differently. I think Calyrex plus Landorus is actually probably a better lead than just Landorus and Incineroar because of the Unnerving ability that Calyrex did have, where we could have just like always threatened the Incineroar. It can use Shucker Berry, which is pretty important. Charizard can use Charty Berry. I could always threaten a Whisk combination or Earth Power potentially into the Incineroar, which is fantastic. And yeah, that could have been something I could have just done, but do think that might have been a better lead option. But live and learn. If you did enjoy the video though, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. And if you want to check out the details of the team and the creator, I'll link them down below, and try out the rental code while it's still available. Be sure to also check out my Series 12 content where I use a lot of cool teams and a lot of fun Pokemon. And that's going to be it for me. Have a great day, people, and until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.